So there is this open source coding agent called Pi, and it's been getting a lot of attention. I have been spending time with it, going through the GitHub repo, the docs and the official website, and I think it's worth talking about in details because it takes a pretty different approach compared to everything else out there. So, Pi was built by Mario Zechner. He used Claude Code for most of his day-to-day AI coding work, and for a while it was fine back when it was simple. But over the months, Claude Code kept adding features like sub-agents, plan mode, to-do tracking, all this extra stuff. And his complaint is fair. Like when the system prompt and tools changes on every release, it can break your existing workflow and change how the model actually behaves. He did not want that. He wanted something minimal, predictable, and fully in his control. So he built Pi himself. The core philosophy behind Pi is very simple. Adopt the tool to your workflow, not the other way around. And every design decision on Pi come back to that idea. It's not trying to be the best out of the box experience. It's trying to be the most configurable one. Pi ships with 4 built-in tools like read, write, edit and bash. That's a whole default toolset. Compare that to Claude Code which comes with around 8 or 9 tools by default and other agents that keeps adding more. Pi's default system prompt is around 200 tokens. Claude Code system prompt is around 10,000 tokens. Mario's argument is that modern tools are good enough that they don't need a massive system prompt telling them how to think. You gave them the task, you gave them minimal tools, and they figure it out. And honestly, looking at the benchmark he ran on Terminal Bench back in late 2025, Pi held its own against with far more complex tooling. Now, before we get into the good stuff, let me show you how to actually install this. It's an npm package, so you just run this npm command and that's it. Then you just type Pi in your terminal and you are in. You will need to set up your API key for whatever provider you want to use. You can do that through environment variable or through Pi's own config. Speaking of provider, this is one of the most interesting thing about Pi. It supports over 15 model providers. We are talking about Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, Bedrock, Mistral, and there are many others. You can authenticate with API key or OpenAuth for certain providers. And if you have a GitHub Copilot plan or Google Gemini CLA subscription, you can actually route through those too. Mid-session, you can switch model with slash model or just hit Ctrl plus L. If you have a few favorite models, you can cycle through them with Ctrl plus P. That level of flexibility is not something you get with Claude Code, which is built around Anthropic's own models. With Pi, you are picking whatever makes sense for the task and the budget. So let me walk through the extension system because this is really where Pi separates itself. Extension in Pi are TypeScript modules that looks into different points of agent's lifecycle. Pi exposes over 25 hook points like session start, session end, before and after each agent turn, individual tool calls, tool result, and there are a lot more. You can use these tools to build pretty much anything. The official example repository has over 50 extension examples you can look through. There is a sub-agent support, plan mode, permission gates, path protection, SSH execution, and there are so many. The thing to understand is that Pi deliberately ships without most of these features built in, like no sub-agent, no plan mode, no to-do system, and that's intentional. Mario's position is that those are opinions about how a workflow should look and Pi does not want to impose those on you. If you want sub-agent, you just build an extension that does it exactly the way you want. If you want a plan mode that write a structured plan before touching any file, you can build it. And the building blocks are all there with proper lifecycle hooks to make it work. Alright, so now let's talk about how you can control context because this is another area where Pi puts in real thoughts. Pi has an agent.md file where you put project instruction that gets loaded at startup. You can put a global one in your home directory and Pi will also look through parent directories and the current project folder. It's layered, which means you can have global defaults and project specific overrides. There is also system.md for when you want to fully replace or append to the default system prompt on a per project basis. Compaction is automatic when you are approaching the context limit and you can customize how that compaction works through extensions. You could do topic based compaction, code aware summarization, or use a cheaper model for compaction while using a better one for actual coding work. Skills are another piece of the context system that's worth explaining. A skill is basically a folder with the skill.md file in it. That file contains instructions, workflow steps, and any helper script for a specific capability. So maybe you have a skill for running database migration or a skill for a specific testing framework your project uses. The agent sees the skill description at startup but only loads the full instruction when it actually needs them. This keeps your context window from getting bloated with instruction for things the model is not even doing right now. And it has a pretty smart way to handle specialized capabilities without front loading everything. You can put skills globally in your home directory or per project or pass them specifically via command line flag. And the session system is tree based, which is interesting. Instead of just a linear chat history, session branch like a Git tree, you can use /tree to see and navigate all the branches for a session. So if you tried one approach and it did not work, you can fork back to an earlier state and go a different direction without losing either branch. All branches live in a single session file. You can label entries as bookmarks, filter the view by message type, export a session to HTML with /export. That's actually a nice feature for sharing work or reviewing what the agent did with a colleague. Alright, so one thing that's slightly different about Pi's input handling. You can send messages to the agent while it's still working. Hitting enter sends a steering message which gets delivered after the current tool call and interrupt any remaining queue tools. Alt plus enter sends a follow-up that just wait until the agent finishes before delivering. So if the agent is mid-task and you realize it's going in the wrong direction, you can redirect it without killing the whole session. There is also modes for how you can run Pi. The interactive TUI is what you would use day to day. Print mode lets you run it like pi-p, then your query, and get output in your terminal for scripting. JSON mode gives you an event stream. RPC mode lets you control Pi from another process, which is very useful for non-node integrations. And there is a TypeScript SDK for embedding Pi directly into your own applications. The Claude project is a real-world example of that. And for packages, Pi has its own package ecosystem. You can install packages from npm with PyInstall command. Packages can contain extensions, skills, prompt templates, and themes all bundled together. You can pin versions, update everything with PyUpdate, or you can test a package without installing it. The community is sharing packages on npm under the pi-package keyword, and there is also a Discord server where people share what they have built. Okay, so now to be straight with you, Pi is not for everyone. If you need team management, centralized admin control, or enterprise level access control, Pi does not have any of that. It's a personal tool built by one developer who want to dig in and customize. There is also a no built-in MCP server support, which Mario addressed in his blog post as well. His view is that you can just call external tools through script and CLIs directly via bash, and that approach is often simpler and more composable anyway. If you absolutely need MCP, there is a third-party tool called MC Porter that wraps MCP servers as CLI tools, and you can use those with Pi's bash tool. It's a workaround, but it works. Background bash is also intentionally absent because background process management adds real complexity to the harness, and if you need it, you can use the Termx split. That's a reasonable take, although it might feel limiting depending on your workflow. Also, the cost angle is worth talking about too, because Pi works with so many providers. You can genuinely match the model to the task. Simpler file operation, documentation lookup, quick refactors, those can go to something like Heku or Gemini Flash where the cost is very low. Complex decision or debug sessions where you need the model to reason carefully. That's when you reach for a more capable model. Over a full day of agent use, that flexibility adds up to real savings, especially if you are running it continuously. Alright, so that's it from the video and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.